Okay.
Needs to say I keep a check. She was all bad, nevertheless.
Hello mga tol, this is Tall Fry, and today we got something that I have been excited for ever since I saw the promo pics. I have the Sentinel Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse Miles Morales action figure. Woo! My gosh, this thing looks beautiful. This is the third version of this character in 1/12 scale, with the other two being the Marvel Legends and the Mafex. And it's also the most expensive, going for anywhere around 4,000 plus pesos. I got mine from TCA, the Collect Toys Alley. After a long wait for this figure, I finally have it. So let's take a look at that packaging. The front part isn't what we're used to, since we only have windows at the top right and bottom left. Sort of like it's teasing you for what lies beneath. All around the box, we see promo images shown in the very best way for this line, like something out of a comic book. A very fitting Into the Spider-Verse vibe. At the back is a beautiful recreation of Miles in the movie poster, and behind is the minimalist cityscape. At the top is a hollow sticker to signify authenticity, and the bottom has some very important things, like the detail. Now let's get Miles out of this plastic prison and out into the free world. So getting Miles out of the packaging, what do I think? Well, he is smaller and lighter than I thought. But taking a closer look at the details of the figure, you can see that it is chock full of all the details you could possibly want from the movie. Starting with the head sculpt, it has a nice wide-eyed expression, and then it even has that weird basketball-shaped head, which is a very comic-y kind of thing, you know. Now, one detail that I love that I can't seem to find on some of the other figures is that blue rim around his eye. Like, sometimes it just goes from red straight to the white. No, that shouldn't be. In the movie design, at least, there is the blue trim that goes all around the eyes, both eyes actually, and it is prominent if you downloaded the soundtrack of the movie, because that is the cover art and it's full of banger songs. I think some people might be bothered by the fact that the eyes are raised and not just like a whole smooth pattern. I find it attractive actually. It's not too bad. Though right out of the packaging I noticed that there is a dent in his right eye. That is something that bums me out a little bit, but it does seem to blend well. One thing to note also that a lot of people complained about is that the neck seems a little too short.
Ooh, that's kind of small.
The way that the head sits on it, it seems like he barely has any neck. I know that Figure Fix has come up with a neck extension peg, and I don't know, maybe somebody will come up with something like that in my country. The red is really vibrant and pops out from the grayish black of the entire suit. It doesn't blend in too well, but also make sure it's a standout to let you know that, yeah, this is the Miles Morales suit, baby. The entire suit it's not covered in black. I don't want to say it's black. It's more of a grayish black color all around and works really well with the shots, even though you say like, oh, that's not accurate to the movie. Actually, it kind of does look like it though. And another thing that I love is that the suit is textured everywhere, as in everywhere. You can feel it when you rub your fingertips or your nails. There is texture all around it. And it's not just dots like on the Mafex, but it is in that weird zigzaggy, I want to say S, like lightning bolt pattern that you can see in the movie. It's more prominent there. But here, yeah, it matches it more closely compared to dots or no texture at all. It's a very subtle detail that not a lot of people would look for. But at this price point, yeah, I guess I would like that. The spider symbols are supposed to be the parts that look like really spray painted by Miles himself. It really gives him that
Gangsta.
That street look. The web lines aren't all colored in with silver like with the Mafex, and it still works well in my opinion. Not everything has to be colored in with silver because that would make the red part stand out even less, because you can still see it. It still is in the major parts of the suit. The hands are pretty neat too. I like the shading from how it goes from black then to less black or grayish and then into the red. In terms of proportions, I think he still looks a lot like how he did in the movie, though I think that the Mafex was more accurate in terms of these areas. While the Mafex one may have the proportions down, I don't like how fragile it can be. This, on the other hand, it may have those hips don't lie kind of thing, but that's fine if it makes it more sturdy. I believe that's a nice balance and compromise. A lot of the parts are thin and still teenager-ish like, and even as we move down, We still see a lot of those details, and plain red soles at the bottom of the feet. One thing I will say though is that the suit being a dark color makes it a real dust magnet. Like you can see the tiniest specks of white dust or whatever other color of dust there is. You should have a handy dusting brush or something. Miles has an unnatural amount of accessories. He comes with two fists right out of the packaging, but he also comes with a pair of relaxed hands, a pair of splayed open hands, a pair of attached to surface hands or wall crawling hands, and a pair of grabbing hands. Now one thing I wanted to point out is that these wall crawling hands are quite different than the ones you see on like SH Figuarts or Mafex. Why is that, you asked? They include a bend in the fingers, like as if it were actually against a hard surface, like a wall, something like that. He also comes with a phone grabbing hand to hold the phone that he comes with, and a spray can holding hand, which is attached to the hand itself. You can't remove the spray can, and it works well for your vandalism shots. Though I do have to say I wish they designed the can instead of just making it a plain white. Could have made a fake brand or something, but it's alright. He also has a hammer for bonking the horny people and two alternate heads. He has an alternate head where he's like, huh? Which you can use to express his reaction to unexplainable or weird phenomena. And an unmasked head, which looks really, really good actually. This is some fine work by the team at Sentinel. It looks straight out of the movie. If you thought the Mafex head sculpt was good, this is something else. This is a whole new level. The hair, of course, it looks quite accurate, but that face, yeah, very, very lifelike and detailed. They also added a shimmer to the eyes to make it look like, you know, real eyes with moisture and stuff. And it also seems to be sunken, like a real pair of eyes. And switching out the hands isn't too difficult. I mean, it is something to get used to because you won't be used to hearing this sound too much and it meaning a good thing. But I assure you, it's safe, it's very durable. Every time you take it in and out, it should be all right. See, I can do that quite confidently. And to insert the hammer into one of his grabbing hands, you just need to take it apart like that, and then you insert it into the hand itself. Whoop, and then just find the position in which it would plug back into the rest of the hammer. Right, there. And that looks great. That's a very nice cartoony looking wooden hammer. It's not trying to be like super photorealistic. It's right out of the movie. Oh, but that's not all. No. We still have the alternate suit pieces. And when I say suit, I mean the jacket and shorts look. The way this works, I don't necessarily memorize how it went in the instruction manual, so I'ma just do this the way I usually do this. So first, you gotta take off the head, you know. Then take off the legs, but make sure to remove the knees as well, and not just the lower part of the legs. You'll also have to remove both arms. And if you notice, the alternate pieces also come with their own peg warmers. Just pop them out like that. Oop, yeah. Then you will also have to remove his torso, of course, and attach it to the shorts piece. Plop that jacket on. I put in both arms. Now this part's kind of tricky. You're gonna have to push it in quite hard because the holes don't always align perfectly. You're gonna want to hear an audible click to be sure. Then plug in the lower legs back into the new upper legs with shorts. And then you pick which hood you want to put on. Do you want up in the air hood, or do you want up in the air hood but slightly down? Pop that head sculpt on. The hood doesn't peg in as well as you want it to, so it's kind of just like a little awkward. I mean, you can get it to look natural in some angles. It's not as smooth as it looked in the promo pics, unfortunately. And then last but not least, you're gonna replace those shoes with these not Nikes. Replacing each piece is honestly super duper easy. There's like not as much resistance as you'd expect. Of course, you just get the hands to finish them off. It is the Miles Morales jacket and shorts look, and it does look so freaking good, honestly. Really got that street look down. I hope I'm not canceled for saying that. A lot of people might have problems with this jacket look, of it always being in the flowing in the air kind of look, but it doesn't bother me like at all, because Spider-Man figures
99%, 90% of the time, they're supposed to be in dynamic poses, because if they're just in casual most of the time, then you're probably doing something wrong. I mean, I'm not one to judge, but you're probably doing something wrong. The part that bugs me the most actually is just the hood, but you know, it's just there. Or you can always just remove it if you don't like it, you know, like that. Weirdly enough, there is an articulation piece on here. Boop, boop. So yeah, but not this one. That one stays in place. I've also heard complaints from people about how the arms can't go fully down, like a normal person, which yeah, I can see that being valid. It would have been an okay thing to put it all the way down. And then the same thing could be said with the shorts, because they always look like they're in that flowing motion with the wrinkles and such. It's really not a big issue for me, like at all, especially because the articulation on this thing is quite immaculate. It might actually be better than when he had the clothes off. Wow, that sounds weird. But yeah, you know what I mean. Let's check that out right now. Oh, you thought that was all? No, 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 no. We haven't gotten to tray 2 yet, yo. So the following accessories are from tray 2. You have the string of web. The web is sculpted pretty uniquely. It has those swirly thingies. No knots like in the animated series. So you just take the gripping hand, like the one we used for the mallet, and you just plug that portion in. Depending on the angle, it can grip it pretty tightly or pretty loosely. And in this part, it has an L curve or a curve so that it can hang onto certain portions or edges or corners. We also have the hands, of course, the slipping hands with the white stuff coming out. It wouldn't be Spider-Man if he didn't have hands like these. And the web has that bulb at the end. Paint job is really nice on the hands. Though I do admit that the material on the web, the texture on it, is not my favorite. It's not exactly super smooth. It feels like some kind of weird Japanese paper. They're stuck in place, so I guess that's for the best in terms of durability. Then he also comes with his Sony headphones. Oh, sorry, no Sony. No branding on this, just some headphones that look a lot like Sony headphones. You can just put them on like that, though it will not fit on the Miles head sculpt, the unmasked one. It only fits on when he has the mask. He also comes with the phone, as I mentioned earlier, and though, of course, it's not the crispiest of details, they did managed to include that wallpaper of the mural or the piece of vandalism he did in that sewer wall. And it looks pretty nice. It seems like he also got a text or is receiving a call. And then lastly, we have his shoelaces. You know, we got his untied and tied. There's a hole there, as you can see. And whoa, a conveniently shaped peg to fit that hole. I wonder how it works. Boom, bada bing. Just make sure that it's going on to the right foot. I mean, it won't fit as snugly, but like, I guess if you can force it, it's still okay. The last accessory that we get with this wonderful, wonderful set is, of course, a flight stand. Mostly black, but it also has those clear pieces, some interesting line work to make it look like some kind of fancy Robotronic base. Smooth sailing, just wrap it around Miles in certain pieces. Wow, yeah, that's screen accuracy right there, guys. Remember that scene? And it has several articulation points. You can do that, you can do this, you can do this, you can twist it around as well, and you can also twist it around right there. Let's not forget, with this stand, you can also slide it like that. For articulation, Miles can look up this much, which kind of leaves a lot to be desired, you know, but he can bury his chin. He has that head swivel, head tilt, which is fabulous. And he can also move his neck forward and back. Arms can go all the way around, but you do have to be careful and slow because they go at a certain angle only. For the arms, he can go above 90, but you won't want to stretch it too much since that's as far as it can go. At first, you will have to play around with the shoulder swivel and bicep swivel to make it look like he's reaching even higher and higher. So that works okay. The ball joints in the shoulders do allow for a good amount of movement when crossing over his arms. He can still do Gangnam style like that, as you can see. Then he has bicep swivel, as I said earlier, and double jointed elbows so he can stab himself in the chest. And then one thing that people might have problems with is that he only has wrist swivel, no hinge. And while that is something that would be desired for sure, a little added articulation doesn't hurt, especially on a Spider-Man figure. I think it's passable since they give you hands for like any occasion anyway. At least it makes the joint sturdier, I guess. Torso can crunch that much, go back that much also. You can swivel. Also has the diaphragm joint, of course. He also has really good torso tilt. For the legs, Miles can kick up that much at first, but then when you start twisting it to the side a little, you can see he can actually start kicking up even higher. It's just that it's not straight. He does splits to that much, so which is a pretty good angle. Can go back that much, but it will be hindered by the butt. There is some thigh swivel if you angle it properly. Double jointed knees, and he has ankle hinge, rocker, and swivel, and yes, toe articulation. And with the jacket and shorts look, of course, some things will change compared to the no jacket and shorts look. Like, for example, since he has the hood on, you will have to angle his head upward when trying to swivel it around. Then with the jacket on, he won't be able to put his arms all the way down because of that jacket being flared out. And he also can't cross his arms as well with the other look, as you can see here. It is rather more limited than the upper body. He has no more bicep swivel with these arms, so you're going to have to be a little more creative with the shoulder swivel and the wrist swivel. Then with the shorts, this is where it seems to step up from the no jacket and shorts look, because since this is made out of a rubbery soft material, it can go up way higher than the other suit can. It can go straight up because of how soft it is. Even going to the side, he can do the splits way further, and then going back, I think it's still the same because the butt still gets in the way. And also here, one thing I like to point out is that there's an extra piece of articulation here. It's like as if he's wearing actual shorts. He can move his leg around inside or within the shorts themselves. And with the shoes, it can articulate around the same way compared to the other look as well.
So for size comparisons, here's the Sentinel Miles next to his other 1/12 scale counterparts, the Marvel Legends and Mafex versions. Here he is next to the Mafex Peter Parker Spider-Man and the SH Figuarts Homecoming Spider-Man. And last but not least, here he is next to the McFarlane MK11 Spawn and Marvel Legends Captain America and Black Panther. So in conclusion, this figure is amazing, spectacular, magnificent. Paint and sculpted details? Check. Awesome articulation? Check. Exaggerated swagger of a black teen? Checkaroo. Needless to say that Sentinel really knocked it out of the park with this release. So much so that all the cons I see on this figure are near non-existent to me, since they rarely ever bother me. It really looks like it leaped right out of the movie, and the lightweight but sturdy structure of the figure, alongside with all the accessories it comes with, makes it super duper fun to play with. Everything Sentinel has offered us with this set really comes together to become my favorite action figure of all time so far. The price is quite high, yes, but if you're a collector who even kinda liked the movie, then this is a must buy. But let me hear what you all think. Is this the 1/12 Into the Spider-Verse Miles for your shelf? And is this the best version of this character in all media in general? Leave a comment down below and like and subscribe while you're at it. Share this with your friends and be good people, I guess.
Some splayed open hands. Some splayed open hands to recreate that. Some splayed out hands to create. Some splayed out hands to recreate that. Some splayed out hands to recreate that movie poster. Some attached to surface hands. Some gripping hands. Some